Alright guys, so here we are. This is day 30 of the 30-day comic book challenge. I'm really pleased that I managed to stick this out and do the whole month with you guys, a video a day. Never done something like this before and it was a lot of fun. Can't believe I had such a bad cold for a couple of weeks and still managed to keep going throughout it all. Anyways, today we're talking about our favorite comic book series of all time. That's kind of a summarization of everything we've done. And I assume if you've watched all these videos, you probably have a pretty good idea as to what I'm going to talk about. Here's the thing. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to name a favorite series. That's not how I operate. It's one of those things where, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to pick your favorite child? Are you going to pick your favorite movie? I don't believe in favorites when it comes to art. I think that we are encouraged to put things on levels and to extrapolate data and try to analyze, and it comes into all that shit about like what makes a good poem, or like what makes great art that you respond to it. Anyways, you fucking watch these things, you know what I love. What do I love? I love Ghost Rider 2099. I love Preacher. I love Transmetropolitan. I love Hitman. I love comic books. Not all comic books. Well, in a way I love all comic books, but in a way I love the comic books I love most of all. I love the manga series, 20th Century Boys. It is possibly one of the best long-running stories I've ever read in my life. But there's a lot of other good things out there too, you know. I've read comic books all my life. I started reading comics when I was reading Archie comics as a little kid, and then I started reading Captain Carrot comics, and then I started reading Ninja Turtle comics, then I started reading Spider-Man comics, then I read some Superman comics, and then eventually I found Vertigo comics, and I started reading Preacher, and that's where Transmetropolitan and Hitman, shit like that starts coming in, books like Sandman, all the Alan Moore stuff like Watchmen and V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta, fuck that movie. That movie is a piece of garbage, but it's a very good book. There's so many comics out there I love. You know, I never talked to you guys about King City. That's one of the comic books that I have a tattoo based on that is very, very dear to my heart. There's so many great comic books I didn't bring up. I've never talked to you guys about Yotsuba, which is one of the cutest all-ages comics I've ever read in my life. Man, I'm just looking around my room. Scott Pilgrim I still love so much. What's fucking on the back wall? So much good stuff. Anyway, I mentioned all those great Brubaker comics, all that crime fiction. I ain't never gonna pick a favorite graphic novel. I'll joke sometimes when I'm selling people books in the shop. I'll say something like, you know, if the whole store was on fire and I could only save one comic, this would be the comic I'd save. And then I'll usually hold up something like Preacher or, you know, one of those other series. But the honest truth of the matter is yeah, man, fuck that shit. I just love comics. I love comics that are well written and well drawn. So yeah, the other side of all this stuff is hopefully you guys have noticed that like all these things, all these little 30-day comic challenges I put up through my YouTube channel, which I'm still putting up regular work on. Conversations about different comic book franchises, conversations about different comic book movies, weird little analysis and sort of pop culture studying, bullshit like that. So if you have enjoyed my company and you would like to continue to do so, you can do that thing that I hear people say in all their YouTube videos about share and like and subscribe. All that shit. I am going to continue to generate material that you can watch and listen to if you like to through my Death by Media Man channel. That is my little official production company that I like to produce little shows through. Little programs and little ramblings and fucking blah 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 blah. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you specifically to Peter. I'd say thank you to Tracy, but I know he's not going to watch this, so fuck y'all, Tracy! But thank you, Peter, for making me feel a part of this. It was been really cool getting to connect with comic book fans from around the world. I've been reading comics all my life. I used to live in a little fucking shack deep in the woods without electricity or running water. I didn't have friends when I was living deep in the woods. And now I get to sit in my room and talk to people from around the world who love comic books. And I don't know, man. I'm a grown adult now, but it's very rewarding for that lost little kid that I used to be to get to make these connections now. And it's fun too. I fucking love talking about comic books and all this fucking nerdy bullshit. That's why I got all that shit up on my back wall, so we can fucking have these weird conversations about this stuff. Anyways, I am really running off at the mouth today, but it's the 30th day of a whole month of these little videos, and I'm really happy to have gone through this shit with you guys. So yeah, please continue to follow me on Twitter and various forms of social media and watch my little videos and share them with your friends and all that kind of shit, and thank you very much. There's my little Daredevil mug one more time. It's full of coffee that is slowly growing cold. But it's still pretty tasty. So, you guys are all super cool, and I'm gonna keep hanging out with y'all online, and hopefully y'all continue hanging out with me, and fucking blah de blah de blah. Nah, seriously, thanks guys. I'll be seeing you.